devastating against Melissa that is not going to be safe from the goal away.
After a sweep of yesterday against Rune Eaters, that they're here to play, just like in the previous international. Let's jump into the Land of Dawn here. It's game one in this best of three. Now, Wolf, we have to talk about going into this, going forward. Again, it's a Matilda across from you in the hands of Finn. You don't necessarily have the same match that we saw with Raphael versus Matilda. So how does Pro Esports move around the map against something so mobile for this lineup for BTR?
Well, you wait your opportunity. Maybe the later the game goes, you have enough tankability so that even when your opponents are mobile, the longer the fight goes, at least you can region up and you can fight afterwards and you can go for the outplay. That's probably what Pro Esports are going to be banking on. It's going to be a game of patience for them. Whereas for BTR, they are going to be very happy being aggressive. I think they're just going to be waiting for their first items, and then you can see them to not stop fighting.
Yeah, they can be patient, but if BTR doesn't want them to be patient, I think with this kind of lineup, they can press on the pedal to the metal if they want to early on, because of the fact that they can kind of displace themselves with that guiding wind. Obviously, circling Eagle be really big. I think the main theme of the day, though, man, has been just how difficult it is for any team that decides to go ahead and draft in a Cho. Now in the hands of P here, they have to really work for those kicks, you know? I mean, we've seen it before where there's a great setup, but then obviously the Cho gets blasted, he's gone, and even if you get that kick, sometimes it's not the target you want, you know? And even if you go for a kick, because there's a Matilda there, there's a potential chance for them to just get away with it. So it looks like this first turtle, Coily gets it.
Coily gets it, and they want to go for more. They're diving in. In comes the jump coming up from the Valentina. That's the first blood. But Zushin actually knocks up too, but Mr. BTR by Vitality, they want to go for a little bit of retaliation in here. They are healed up for a little bit. Shogun is just level 3. Now that can reach level 4. That's 2 kills for Pro Esports, but in comes the Jushin. Moreno being shut down. Coily takes it. Pro Esports just had enough of experience and enough levels for them to outgun the BTR.
Man, you saw what BTR wanted to do after that fight broke out and the turtle was secured by Pro Esports. You know, they waited for a moment that would allow Nile to jump in with that shadow kill to try to go ahead and capitalize on some kills, but they just got outmaneuvered, and then when they jumped in, they got punished. So that's not the fight that BTR was wanting to take. Maybe it was now BTR that needs to be a little more patient approaching these fights. I thought they'd almost give up that first turtle too. They chose not to, and now they've got to go ahead and recuperate them around the map. There's nothing too crazy though, about 1,000 gold or so for Pro Esports, but if there's anything that last fight showed us, it's that Pro Esports is willing to take this fight right to BTR and not be so patient with it. I mean, they're the aggressors, and this is how Pro Esports has played.
Yeah. This is their MO. This is how they want to deal with this, but curious to see how Pro Esports will take advantage of this situation. They have 1,000 gold lead over BTR. And if you're the Cho, if you're the Nolan, you want to keep on being aggressive. It will come to a point where this Alice will now be a threat. So you gotta have to wait and prepare for that moment. And that moment might be in the next turtle, which is gonna be happening soon. Some exchanges here in the bottom lane go away for the Zaman Force, but in comes the circling Eagle. Big ultimate that was spent by BTR actually, which might mean that Pro Esports will now have the advantage over this turtle. Look at Coily jumping in. Moreno has to pop the ultimate now. Sa is there to force out Moreno. Whereas Niall is just working on this turtle, it will be taken by the Hayabusa. They get out of there as well as Moreno. That's daylight robbery by BTR by Vitality.
All right, BTR wanted the objective. They got it. They knew some ultimates were expended down on the bottom side. They want to make sure that, okay, slow it down a little bit. Pro Esports is playing fast. We just need to go ahead and get objective and then allow Nile back into the jungle, scale up in the Hayabusa. It's one of the problems, right, with Hayabusa. Usually you want to go ahead and make sure that you're either getting these kills early on or just at least maintaining farming speed. Oh, there's a kick.
Oh, there's a good kick. In fact, the L going down. That's Hayabusa out and about now. They want to punch PP, but we'll get it. They will have enough damage through Finn, through the Jushin, and of course, damage coming up from Eman. That's gonna
Wolf, I'm
be
sorry.
4-2 though.
I'm sorry, Niall. As I was saying, you know, Caster Curse, he ends up getting targeted down. As I was saying, he should want to go ahead and maintain that farming speed with Coily, because that's what a Nolan does so well, right? I mean, when Nolan first was introduced into the Land of Dawn, we knew that just he could farm so quick. You know, they tried to do some changes here, but essentially he's still a quick farmer. You know, he's able to go ahead and jungle really quickly. He has that burst window that he has really well. He's already sitting on 2 kills, and there's a big threat to that if Niall kind of falls behind, because as Hayabusa has been, again, there hasn't been many players that have picked him up, and even less players that have actually made him work successfully. So you really have to rely on your team to set you up. A Sky Piercer is now picked up by Coily. So we'll see what you're able to do. I think even as the easiest target maybe here for Niall, being that Sa, the Valentina, that's why he's holding on to the beacon, man. Sa knows that as long as I have this beacon, at least I have a little bit of wiggle room to work with. And Pete has been so aggressive with the kicks, giving that space over. Last turtle up, though. It's 1-for-1 right now. This is going to be a full-on fight for the last turtle.
Yeah, gonna go in. Coily takes a turtle. Shields for Pro Esports, but BTR, they still want to jump in. They are actually being warded by this Alice with the floater away in the backside. The quad shadow, the shadow kill is not gonna matter so much as all the members of Pro Esports are sharing the damage. Coily with the pokes. They go for the Terrify. No one dying just yet. Jumping from there, forcing some rotation. Sa actually forced to use his ultimate, and that is gonna be it. Pro Esports just takes the turtle for themselves. No casualties on both ends.
Yeah, that felt really weird, right? Just a full-on team fight breaking out, no one falling. Even the shadow kill really didn't do too much damage, but that's just the power of having this Matilda once again. You know, there's the shielding, there's the mobility. Looks like there's a tension here.
Oh, tension indeed on the bottom. The Salmon Force as well as the Guiding Wind able to aid Eman, but they will not be able to keep their turrets secured. While that's happening, there is the Sky Piercer. Niall wants to use this already up top. He's threatening for a kill onto the Alice. Tried to go for the play up top, but the Alice is just way too tanky for him to deal with.
Yeah, and you can see that Sarion Felix picking up the Radiant Armor for the first item. Across the board, not too much difference here, aside from the jungle. Again, that's why we were saying Niall wants to continue to farm up. He just picked up the Sky Piercer, about 1,000 gold behind Coily. And given how things went, that's kind of expected. Now, one of the main things is Sarion Felix picked up that Radiant Armor. His whole job is to survive that amount of magic damage that BTR has, especially when he tries to go for entry with his Flicker, whether he has it or not, gleams in, Throne of Ruins, and tries to go for that setup. So as he gets more tanky, the more chances he'll have to go ahead and make that happen. A Blade now, Hipsies picked up for Coily, DHS, so you got your 2 out of 3 items for Kozin. It's Pro Esports just continuing to build up here. There's a kick.
They do initiate with this time, and now they take out Shogun. Even the Uranus will not be able to stand against 4. Jumping up Coily, but Robson, they actually coming over BTR with the Circling Eagle. The Throne of Women on the backside. Coily down because of the quad shadow, the shadow kill. Now Niall in trouble, but saved by Finn. Onto the backline. Sarion Felix still wants to go in. Under the turret, has to back down. Eman does not have the ultimate. And Kozin will be there to fend off the entry from BTR. But what a kill. Coming out from Niall. The ultimate to take out Coily.
Oh yeah, Niall. I believe he got the stacks because he has the Sky Piercer. Is he gonna look for a solo kill here on Kozin? Taking a couple shots with the turret. Okay, Kozin's gonna be fine. P's making his way up. He might try to make a play here. Muddle's already dropped down.
Shadow kill used just to get out. There's the kick. There's the damage size here as well. The save coming up from the field. It's enough. Even when Niall, he gets out. In comes the Salmon Force. Now Kozin in trouble. He is taken out by Eman. And a turnaround from BTR. Niall survives with a sliver of HP.
Oh, literally 1 HP, Wolf. Barely surviving. Good rotation there on both teams, though. But meanwhile, Lord's being worked on this whole time by Coily. So that's a Lord secured by Pro Esports. And so right now, BTR might be able to respond and follow through on the map, but they're losing the objectives that matter. And with this, again, they have no turrets down. Pro Esports only has 1. They're going to have to make some moves here. Finally, that 1 turret does go down. Going to be looking for more. Mid lane is where they're holding it together. They're going to try to push them off. So for Pro, they want to approach the base turrets, but they're probably not going to get it off this first Lord. I expect them to just maybe get down some of the tier 2s at most, depending on how they play this map. Emon getting closer to coming online. He's got the Divine Glaive now. He'll probably start working on that Holy Crystal. And so they're getting in that fighting position. It's just BTR, for the most part, has had a little difficult time trying to approach these fights.
Oh, there. Fight Sasa is out, and Valentina out, down for the count. And there is no exchange as Finn survives as well with the skin of Steve. As this Matilda, good punish coming out from BTR, taking out the Valentina in the guise of that Jushin. Not enough to save himself, and then the bottom lane. Although there will be a turret push coming out from Pro Esports because of the Lord, they still will defend the BTR in the middle, will lose their turret. Good shot coming out from Pro Esports as BTR will be losing some real estate but does get kills.
Okay, so Niall's got the damage to go ahead and get a kill like on Saw. But they do lose the tier 2s up top and bot like we kind of expected off that Lord. Again, a very quick decision from Pro Esports, but BTR is still doing a great job at kind of staunching the bleeding. That's kind of what they have to do. You know, working from a bit of a delay that they had in the earlier portion of the game, but they've definitely gotten to a fighting form now. Malefic Roar picked up, so you saw the damage Niall was able to do, especially on the squishier heroes here of Pro Esports. Well, now he can shred through them a little bit more. And a lot of this, again, just has to do with deciding on, does Niall approach these fights first to go ahead and use that shadow kill, or does he just wait for that right moment, again, with the Sky Piercer to go ahead and get that proc with the shadow kill? And so there's a couple different ways that they can approach this, and why Pro Esports going into face first into this fight against the Jushin and the Matilda is really difficult.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that they tried to do that kind of play, but that's Pro Esports now. Jumping in forward. BPP or P. Just call him P, right?
Yeah, I just call him P.
That's
That's a lot of P's.
A lot of P's. No, he's going to receive the shadow kill, but he's going to attack it like a boss. In comes Sorian Felix for the exchange. They haven't committed yet, just yet. Terrified the Shogun. Nail wants to dip back into the fight. No reaction or overreaction coming up from Pro Esports, as this is going to be a very tricky scenario. Pro Esports, they have all of their ultimates intact. Nolan will have his pretty soon, and that's also true for BTR. This Lord Dance will be so close.
All right, Lord is up. 13-minute mark. Niall waiting for that purple. He's going to go ahead and secure this buff. Rose Gold picked up by Coily to help with this. They're going to try to push BTR off this Lord. It's sitting at half health.
Oh, sorry, I'm Felix. Oh, no, Shogun is low. But the punishment coming up from BTR. Going to the backline. Shadow kill is not going to be close at all. Moreno is now low. The kill out from Sa. And now Niall on the backline wants to take out Coily. Coily survives for now, but not P. They will take out the Cho. Now Eman is onto the backlines, but Niall gets the double as he takes out Sorian Felix. BTR just waited for their proper moment to get eliminations, but it's still a 2-for-2 trade-off. Lord has been reset. Sa finds out that Niall is going to be looking at this Lord. Eman dealing the damage. Here comes Sa. Shows himself. Coily as well. They do have the damage coming out from Kozen, but it is enough to fend it off. Shogun just standing in front of them to zone them out. That's the Lord taken by BTR cleanly.
A really good zone set up there with the Zaman Force and Shogun on the Uranus, just kind of posting up to make sure they were able to kind of secure that Lord. So Lord secured, and now it's BTR's chance to go ahead and make some moves here across the map. You know, they had the first Lord taken from them. Now they're going to fight here, possibly. Shogun, okay, should be able to heal back up. Consecrate popped. He's got the Guiding Wind available too if they need it. But they got to deal with this tier 1 turn, at least open up the map a little bit for BTR to go ahead and start utilizing this Lord. Pro Esports still in a really good position to fight if they want to. I think that's one of the main things now, where it's how do you take care of your gold laner for the most part on both sides. But Pro also has to be really cautious about where Niall is. They already get the beacon out from Moreno, so that's at least something for Pro Esports to worry about. They're just desperately holding on here. Pete, pop and conceal.
Going in for more of a dagger coming up from BTR. They will go for the circling eagle onto P. This time they know where the Cho is. They clear the wave. They manage to keep their tier 1 turret in the middle intact. That's really good for Pro Esports, but they will lose their top lane. It's the sentry. The push commences for BTR, the slow siege. There's no initiation just yet, and I think the BTR are going to be happy with just taking out some of the outer turrets. They eventually take out the tier 1 turret in the middle. I think that should be it for the Lord push for BTR.
Yeah, Lord push is there. They're going to go ahead and try to take this purple buff. It's secured though by Coily. He's able to go ahead and get it. Again, I think BTR, given the situation, they're happy with what they got. They got some damage down to the base turret up top of Pro Esports. But nonetheless, it's so close here, Wolf. Again, both compositions pretty much even across the board. It's more of the execution now that we have to see. And that's why it's so difficult. It's one of those things where what battle spells can we get out? What ultimates can we get out? How can we turn these tides, turn the fights in our favor? And that's all that matters here. P, a big part of that. That's why he's got the immortality now too. He can be a little more risky. Just not too risky to the point where he ends up not getting a kick that he wants. Oh, they're going for Emon.
Oh, they want to go for Emon. A quick burst! Oh my goodness, Pro Esports, they throw in everything onto BTR, and Emon could not even react. Not even a Purify clicked out there. Pro Esports, a massive pickoff. It's 20 seconds before the big objective, the second lord of the game. And a big pickoff, eliminating the gold laner of BTR.
Emon should, I don't know if he's actually going to make it in time. It depends if Pro Esports blitzes the Lord, but I don't think BTR is going to let that happen. So Emon will be back up in 12. Lord is up. It's going to be started up here. Sa holding on to the beacon. They are going to blitz it. They're going for a potential fight here, Wolf.
They just spoke. They just spoke. And that's going to be enough. Big zone. Even just the models being thrown there by Kozin is enough to stop BTR from progressing. That's a big, big advantage that Pro Esports have taken 17 minutes into this game. P wants to go for a kick. No.
He's just chilling.
Not much. He's just chilling. There's not much Pro Esports insight when that happens. So yeah, I think there's just this forcing some reactions onto Eman.
Yeah, they're just kind of waiting here. Orange buff's going to be worked on. Nile will be able to get it, but the Lord is making its way slowly up top as a tier 2 in the mid. Going to be zoned out of it, especially with the muddles there. This is one of the upper hand advantages that you get with the Melissa. And now they're to the base. That cannon minion's going to go down, but they got to deal with this Lord. The other waves managed very well by Pro.
Push. Comes in, Eman taking some damage. There's the kick onto the Uranus. That's Shogun. It'll be safe for now. Gets out of there. Didn't even have the power feature. Oh, comes the throw went onto the backline. Everybody's bursted down as well. Good fight coming up from Pro Esports. Once again, circling Eagle far too slow for BTR. They don't have the turrets anymore. And then comes the push. Nail. Is he in the back? Oh, he will be able to kill up Sa with a shadow kill. Wants to go for more. Go away. Coming up from Kozin. Enough to fend up BTR, but now it has expired. The damage coming from Kozin is threatening right now. But now the members of Pro Esports are getting low. Minute by minute, second by second. The Shogun is just fronting this, posting them up. Nail, for some reason, tries a lot of kills in here, but will be taken up by Kozin through the models. They weren't able to take care of business. Now P with the kick. Coilies, they're ready. What an alley coming out from P. Now it's Finn to be taken out with 2 low members of Pro Esports. They're not dead yet. And that meant that they were able to get more kills.
Oh man, what a fight. Shogun was able to eat up so many hits from Kozin. He even picked up the blade armor in that fight, buying them enough time. And yes, multiple deaths there to stay in the game. BTR, though, holds on true. Pro Esports could see the win in sight, but they just couldn't get past that front line that was set up by BTR. A really good defense despite it all. BTR manages to stay in the game, but they lost all their base turrets, so it was expensive as hell to stay in it. But now Pro Esports, they got to go ahead and do it again. They got to reset here. They got to win another Lord fight. Up in about 20 seconds. This one gonna be evolved. They've got to fight for it. Potions now being traded up, picked up. Divine Glaive for Emon. Emon got blasted last time, so he's really got to be careful on his positioning and maybe just sit like shoulder to shoulder with Finn, wing to wing. I don't know, because he can't get blasted like that. They might have to give up this Lord. It looks like that's going to be the case. They're not going to be able to swing over there in time. Shogun already gave them the information, and now BTR. They got to be ready for this defense, man.
Let's look at their defense. They won't have any of their turrets. Pro Esports can use this Lord as a battering ram. Together with the amount of damage that they have, as long as they protect Kozen, you can see how much damage he can deal through just the muddles from a safe distance. Gotta be careful as well, BTR. Don't get hit by that muddles coming out from Kozen. You gotta be able to get out of there. Kozen gotta be careful, don't move like that. Quickly identifies that he has to back down and cannot show himself into the lane. Sorry, and Felix will be the one. Whoa, circling eagle. Sa is the one to be bursted down. Go away, gonna be used here very early. Tumanaka coming out from PPP. Now Skoili is able to get the kill onto the backlines, onto the Matilda. Kozen still surviving for now. Long enough for his teammates to help him out so that they can take more members of Vitality. They can take up two. Now Shogun in trouble. 3 versus 1. Mega kill for Kozen. Great usage of the circling kill coming from BTR, but Pro Esports were prepared, and now the defense commences. BTR 2 versus 4. The Lord is here. They're jumping forward.
They want to end it
with some baits. In comes the damage. In comes the push, and they will take it. Pro Esports takes game 1.